Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tracy, and for this week's video I'm going to be thrift flipping some cardigans I thrifted. So I picked this beautiful jade argyle sweater and I love the ruffle detail on it. I think it's super cute. I'm planning to make a cute like cropped cardigan and cami set. I think it's going to be very adorable. And this is the other cardigan I picked up. It's a really cute baby blue cardigan and I loved this cable knit detail on it. I can't wait to crop it and also make a matching cami. I made a sewing pattern for the cami because I know some people don't have a dress form, so I made a pattern. Feel free to purchase it through my Etsy and I'll link it down below. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. I start by taking my cardigan and removing about 10 inches from the hem. That's how short I want it to be. For this project, I recommend using any long cardigan, and this one's a size small. The baby blue one I used was a size medium, and that one just had a little bit more fabric to work with, so I definitely recommend using a medium. After cutting the cardigan, you want to just hem that edge, so I overlock it, and then I fold 3/4 of an inch and pin it down and then just do a top stitch. If you need a more in-depth tutorial on how to hem a sweater, I can link it. And now you can grab the sewing pattern. So you want to connect 2 and 3 together and just match up those dots and then cut out that piece. And now I'm cutting out my cup, so you want to match the straight edge to the finished edge of your cardigan, and then I'm just lining it up where I want it. I pin the pattern piece in place and then I just cut it away, and you want to cut out another cup as well, so I just match it up and then copy where the print so it matches. But if you don't have a print, it doesn't really matter. Now you have a right and a left cup, and it's time to cut the underbust band. I fold the rest of the fabric in half, right sides together, and I just pin the hem so it's perfectly even. Take your underbust band pattern and just line up the bottom edge to the hem and just pin it down and cut it out. I cut mine on the fold just because I was limited with my fabric, so I ended up just cutting it right on the fold, so now I have 2 pieces. Next, I decide to overlock all the edges, and if you don't have an overlock machine, just use your zigzag stitch and do it all the way around. After overlocking, take your underbust pieces and match the center front, and place right sides together, pin that down, and take it to your sewing machine and sew a 1/2 inch. Repeat this to the center back, and then you have your underbust, and press your seams open. And now you want to do a top stitch at the center front and center back to stabilize everything and keep your seams open. I take it to my sewing machine and just do a 1/4 inch top stitch on each side of that center seam, and I repeat this to the back. After top stitching, take the center front of your gore and tuck in your ends, and then just fold a 1/4 inch down and pin it, and you want to just take it to your sewing machine and do a top stitch. And now it's time to sew in the cup, so mark where you need to gather the cup. So I'm just marking at the notches, and then I'm taking it to my sewing machine and stitching at a size stitch of 5, and don't back tack. Take your cup and just pull on the back thread, and you'll see the cup starts to gather, and you want to gather until the bottom of your cup measures 8 1/4. And they look so cute gathered. So now just mark the notches on your underbust band so you can match the notch of the cup to the underbust, and just pin it down and pin the center front and edge. Just pin the whole cup down, you get it. After pinning both cups down, just take it to your sewing machine and stitch a 1/4 inch, and don't forget to back tack. Take your seam allowance and press it away from the cup and tuck in your ends and just pin it down. So you want to pin the seam allowance away from the cup because we're going to do a top stitch around the cup so it looks like a fake wire. And you can see it on the blue one a little bit better, so it's like a small top stitch and it's like a really cute detail on it. So I just take it to my sewing machine and line up the edge to the inside of the presser foot, so it's like a little less than a 1/4 inch stitch, and I just top stitch it down. And don't forget to back tack. You want to cut a 19 1/4 inch elastic for your underarm, and mine has a ruffle, but you can also use one with like a picot edge. I'm folding it in half to find the center, and I mark that and I match up that center to the center back of the top. And for the first stitch, you want to place the trim facing towards the hem, and then you want to just line it up to the strap point and then just stretch the rest of it to fit the trim and pin everything down. Take it to your sewing machine and just do a straight stitch as close to your ruffle or picot edge and just stitch all the way down. If you don't have an elastic, you can always just fold your seam allowance down and use a double needle and finish that hem at the armhole. After sewing the first stitch, you want to fold your trim under, and you can see you just have the ruffle showing, and you want to pin that down and take it to your sewing machine and choose the 3-step zigzag, so it's like a dotted zigzag stitch on my machine, and that one will allow your knit to stretch with the elastic when you put it on. And don't forget to back tack. Yay, it's time for the elastic straps. We're almost done. So I cut out 2 17-inch elastics for the straps, and I have decorative elastic, but you can use whatever you want. I also cut out 1.5-inch small elastics and just loop it over your ring, and these will act as tabs to sew down at the center back of the top. So just put on the top and decide where you want your straps to end at the back. Mine were about 6 inches apart, and if you need an in-depth tutorial to apply rings and slides, I will link it below. And sew down the front of the strap and stitch down that buttonhole closed so you don't see it. And I love how they turned out. If you guys do recreate this, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see. Thank you guys so much for watching.